Oh yeah. Okay, perfect. And it pops up if someone's in the waiting room on my screen. So there's going to be nobody left waiting. That's perfect. Okay. So I'm very, very excited for this, girls. Because I feel obviously, look, this last year, everybody has put in such hard work into their own goals, into their own journey. And I want to make sure coming into the Christmas that you are all in a position that you're feeling comfortable, feeling confident, and not stressed over the Christmas period, because the Christmas period is a time where we want to take some downtime, enjoy it, and not also lose any momentum that we have either, right? So it's just trying to find that sweet spot between things. And I suppose I always say, like, when it's coming to Christmas, what is our main goal? Enjoyment and, being with those around us. That's the most important part. But we also still want to look after ourselves during that time as well. So we shall get stuck into it. So we're going to run through briefly the Christmas like navigation side of things. Your screen sharing is paused. Can you see my screen? Yeah, okay.
We can see it, yeah.
Okay, why does it say it's paused? Okay, we're gonna right. If anything happens, girls, in terms of technical issues, someone just shouted me saying, Sinead, thing's gone, right?
Perfect.
So we're going to go through Christmas navigation first. I know I've chatted to a lot of you anyways individually about like plans for this anyway. So this is just going to be general gist of things. And then the most important part is going to be the goal setting, which is going to be for 2026, where we're going to run through individual one-to-one calls at the start of January to run through your goal individually for 2026 and how we're going to basically navigate that as well. Okay. So let's get stuck in, right? The goal of this masterclass is learning how to stay consistent during this busy time with socializing, kind of more of a food heavy season, let's be fair. Like at the end of the day, food is not just fuel, it is community, it is connection, it is social as well. And then coming out of this masterclass, we're going to have more tools around our mindset, just practical strategies to manage the Christmas side as well. And then obviously having more clarity and confidence around this time of the year. So when it comes to the likes of, let's say, any events, even Christmas or even holidays, we know how to manage it better.
Sinead, sorry, I don't know if the slides are moving for us. Are you on the second slide?
Yeah.
No, it hasn't moved for us. It's still on the first one. I think when it said it was frozen, I think it means that you've frozen it for us. So we can't see the movement. We can just see whatever you were sharing.
I've jinxed myself. Okay. Do you know what I'll do? Maybe if I just do it this way.
Yeah, I can see it moving now.
And if I move it
Yeah,
like this, you can
yeah,
still see
yeah,
it. Okay, so I
yeah.
won't go full screen. Okay, I'll zoom in like this. Okay, thank you for that. I saw the hand raise. I was like, oh gosh. Okay, perfect. So that's what we're going to run through here. Okay. So first thing I want to run through obviously is the reality check of Christmas is that there is a lot more social events, there is a lot more food, there is a little bit of time constraints for people because there's family coming over, there's friends, there's a lot more things coming on. And typically what happens as well is that sometimes the kind of guilt cycles and mindset tricks come into it where we're thinking, oh gosh, sure, we don't have any control over anything now. And we end up going into this cycle of thinking that the whole thing is ruined and we may as well start in January, which is definitely not true. And I think a lot of us, anyways, have worked a lot on our mindsets over the last couple of months, anyways, that we're not as inclined to jump into this as much as we would have in the past. So, with that, it usually comes down to the thing of I'll just restart in January, it's ruined now. What's the point? Whereas we have always been focusing on something is better than nothing. And just that realignment to yourself, okay, what is the bigger goal behind this? What is my actual why behind this whole journey? Because for majority of us, for all of us, this journey isn't just about becoming the smallest version of ourselves or, dropping body fat. It's actually improving our overall lifestyle. And if we can't have times like this where we can enjoy it, take the foot off the gas slightly, then what is the point of it? Like that's going to be the main thing to just remind yourself of is like what is our bigger goal behind all this? Okay. Um Also, if anyone has any questions throughout or wants to like ask anything or like add anything, like literally just like come off mute or type in the chat as well. If there is that in like live that you want to chat about, there is going to be space at the end of this for kind of open Q&A. But if there is that you're like thinking of when I'm talking about it, just literally shout. There's no problem. Um. So yeah, that's going to be the big thing is just like reminding yourself, okay, what is the bigger goal or why behind this whole entire journey, which will help us. So when it comes to it then with nutrition, we are mainly looking at the big rocks, right? Which is the most important parts of our nutrition. So we are trying to get a little bit more protein in every meal. And I say here as much as possible, because realistically in some meals you're not going to have it. But we are looking at a little bit more fiber and veggies. And this isn't just because, oh, it's healthy. It's because actually this is going to help us so much with digestion, especially over the Christmas, girls, where there's a little bit more of the soul foods, maybe a little bit more alcohol, a little bit more carbs, not as much water intake. Digestion can take such a big hit. Then we're feeling sluggish. We're not wanting to move. Digestion is just not in a good position. So we want to focus on that as much as possible alongside hydration. And that is going to help us overall with our satiety levels, our energy levels, and then of course digestion as well. So that's what we want to focus on in terms of nutrition with the bigger rocks of things, right? And then we can get down into the nitty gritty. It's not as important during this time. Obviously, we know ourselves, yes, for Christmas, we are going to have, Christmas dinner, obviously. We're going to have desserts. There's going to be boxes of chocolates around the place as well. And we will have some of those as well. And there's no problem with that. But for as much as possible, we are looking at this nutrition not as a focus on dieting or calories or anything like that. It's more so on how good we can feel. So we focus on these rocks. Going into it then, we're looking at any events. So this isn't as such as Christmas Day or anything like that, but more so the events we have coming up during this time. Maybe it's 12 pubs. I think it's only the 16th. So majority of 12 pubs aren't done yet. Going out for drinks with friends, etc. This is the usual framework we use anyways when it comes to event days or meals out, is focusing on the meals beforehand is normal meals. We're not saving calories for the meals out or anything like that, or like skipping meals to enjoy the rest of the evening. That's not what we're running through. Mainly prioritizing protein because we know meals out are going to be a little bit more of our carb-based meals. During the meal then, we're looking at trying to add a little bit more protein, trying to add a little bit more of our vegetables, choosing the treats, and I use the word treats loosely. I don't particularly like the word treats, but the foods that we enjoy and genuinely love and really, really want, go for them. If it's a thing of like we always run through, like, if it's a feck, yes, go for it. If it's like, do you know what? I'm just kind of doing this for the sake of it. It's like, right, let's just pull it back and have it when we actually really do want it. And just mindfulness is like, if we're like checking in with ourselves, are we still hungry? Are we snackish? Are we full? And just stopping there. And knowing if we want to have a little bit more pavlova later, or if we want to have a little bit more of the chocolate later, we can go back and get it again. And then the main thing here is after that meal, just going back into routine again, because again, this is just part of our new lifestyle that we are building. When it comes to alcohol then, because I know a lot do like to have the few beveraginos. So main thing here is ensuring that we are staying hydrated while also drinking alcohol. Obviously, alcohol does dehydrate the body. And as much as we love the wildness of the event, it's usually the following day where we're like, wow, okay, maybe that wasn't the best idea. So it's just taking it a little bit handier. There obviously is a little bit more drinking over the Christmas as well. So I would look at ensuring, what I say here about like alternating alcohol with water is the typical thing of have a drink, have a glass of water, have a drink, have a glass of water. So you are getting a little bit more hydration in. The likes of like your lighter options like spirits and zero mixers is just handy, whether you're in a dieting phase or not. They're just handy little options to have. I always would run through with any night out is, what is your intention for the following morning? So what way do you want to feel the following morning? And I've used this a lot myself over the years of like, okay, how do I want to feel tomorrow? And setting that intention. So if it's a case where you have something on tomorrow morning, or like, oh, I want to get up tomorrow morning, I want to go do, I'm thinking of the Devil's Bit just because it's the nearest kind of hike to me, or I want to go meet a friend for a coffee and I want to feel like this, helps us to set a better intention for that night out so we don't go as legless. Now, girls, let's be honest, there is some nights out where we decide we're not going to go absolutely legless. And for whatever reason, sometimes it happens, and that's okay too. I suppose the main thing here is ensuring that the following day we get back into some sort of routine for ourselves, i.e. get up, get water into you, go for a walk, clear the head, clear the cobwebs out. And also like a little reminder here as well that if you're not really feeling the drinking, you don't have to drink. I think it's getting a little bit better that there isn't as much of a push or a feeling that you have to drink on nights out. I do find like even myself in Australia, it was gas. Like so many of them were like, you're not drinking. Oh my God. And I'm like, yeah, no, And after like an hour and a half, everybody forgets that you're actually not drinking. So it doesn't actually matter. And to be honest, you're waking up the following morning feeling so much fresher. Everybody else is in an awful way. And you're like, actually, I can continue on. I had a great night and it's okay to do that as well. Um, I would have found the last couple of years, like at home at Christmas, drinking that I didn't really enjoy it. And I honestly don't think I am going to drink this Christmas at all because I don't see how it benefits me in any way at the minute. So I'm like, "Do you know what? I'm myself, I'm going to pull away from it." But it's just a reminder to yourself as well as like, if you're not really feeling it, you don't have to drink. And as much as it might be a part of a conversation for the first hour of the night out, everybody quickly forgets if you are or aren't drinking, because by that stage they're already drunk. So they're only focusing on themselves, you know. So really just think of like, what do you want to do during this time and run through that. Um, when we're going then in terms of overall movement, and this is in terms of, I know like obviously look, Christmas is on the run up now, it's going to get busier over the next week. Next week is even going to be busier, the week after, up until we start January. It's going to be that little bit more hectic because we all maybe are off work, have like family visiting, etc. So the goal over this time is just to keep movement in and maintain that habit as much as possible. I would recommend getting the gym sessions in as much as we can because we know we feel great after them. They're obviously important as well. The gyms are so quiet in December. It's great. So any of you who've been maybe wanting to get videos across that are like, oh, it's a bit busy, Sinead, girls, this is a great time. You're going to hate me, but you're going to love me in the long run for this. But it is a great time. And also, obviously, look, January is going to be busier in the gym. So to get even in and get a little bit more familiar with your movements is going to be really beneficial. But what I will say here is, if you know you don't have that much time, shorten your sessions. So maybe it's 3 sets that we're usually doing. We can bring it back to 2 sets. Even if you're getting in half your session is better than none of your sessions. I would try to keep your steps as your non-negotiable baseline. If you can't get your steps in on a certain day, at least make sure you're getting a walk in. Like realistically, to get out for a 20-minute walk, and if we're spending the rest of the day on the couch, we can get out for 20 minutes just to clear the head, get daylight into the eyes as well. And the main thing here is looking at like the concept of the minimum effective dose for us. So like for me, I know I need to get out and moving, and I need to roughly have at least 30 minutes of walking every day. For myself, in terms of training, I do, for my minimum effective dose is getting at least 2 sessions in the week. And that is where I feel like I'm at my baseline and I'm filling up my own cup. So it's even looking at that for yourself of like, what is my non-negotiable in terms of movement over the next coming weeks. I know some of us have kids, some of us may be working during the Christmas, etc. So it's really looking at it now, not when you're in it, and going, what is manageable for me, and working with that. So Christmas is technically, we're going to give it the 3 days, right? So what I'd look at in terms of Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Stephen's Day is no tracking calories. And girls, if any are going to track calories those 3 days, you may give me your air code and I'm going to come up to the house and I'm going to pull that scales off you and I'm going to throw it out. And I'll probably stay for Christmas dinner. But we don't need to track calories Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, or Stephen's Day, right? Realistically, we're not bodybuilders stepping up on stage, right? So let's not track calories during those days. If you want to get back into tracking the day after, absolutely. If you want to leave it off that week and not track, that is okay too. It's not that we need to be really anal with it at this time of year. I do find typically getting back into it sooner rather than leaving it till like, you know, the start of January is a little bit better, just for a little bit of structure. But I would look at the 3 days of Christmas there as treating it like a long weekend, trying to keep some bit of structure to our meals, obviously nail our water, moving our body, and then of course enjoying it. Like at the end of the day, we're not going to look back on Christmas 2025 and say, that was great. I tracked all my calories, I nailed everything, and I went to bed early so I wouldn't eat the Pringles with family. It's like, that's not what we're looking for. Okay. So it is looking at that side of like, yes, we want to enjoy, but we want to feel good during that time as well and look after ourselves as much as possible. So the big thing I'll say here, and what I always say, is it's learning to loosen the reins without losing the reins. And I know you all know at this stage I love a good analogy, but it literally just describes it to a T. Like you're not letting go of the reins completely and the horse has gone halfway down the road and you're like, oh shit, I've lost everything. It's like, actually, we're not being as tight with things. We still have control, but we're loosening it a little bit. So over this time, we're looking at just checking in with ourselves. How are we feeling? Are we hungry? Are we snackish? Are we bored? making sure that each day we are still getting 3 meals in, not skipping meals because we're not feeling that hungry, and all of a sudden then we've snacked for the whole entire evening or whole entire day. Um, Stopping when full, like not being a kid in a sweet shop here. It's like, okay, if we are, finding that we're actually getting hungry, make something, make a sandwich for yourself rather than just continuing on with the chocolates and the crisps and stuff, and moving your body. And the big thing here, girls, is not weighing ourselves, right? We don't need to weigh ourselves during this time of the year. For Christmas week, we know the scales is going to be up, right? So why are we going to just open a wound that we know is there, that we're going to go, oh my God, and we're going to start panicking about it? Realistically, we all know, every single one of us, the scales is going to be up. Does that mean we've gained body fat? Absolutely not. If you're to put it into perspective, you would need to eat 3,500 calories more than your current maintenance calories to gain half a kg of body fat. Okay. So naturally enough, the scales is going to be up over the coming days post Christmas. Don't stress about it. We're not going to look at it. We're just going to make sure we get back into regular habits, routines, and looking after ourselves. And we know it'll come back down. So let's not even step on that, because we know that's just literally poking a hole at something that we know is gonna annoy us. Okay. Um, so I know I yapped a lot there, right? So I want us just to run through quick action steps for yourself. After obviously I ran through that in terms of nutrition, movement, the 3 days of Christmas, and then tips as well. So for yourselves, in terms of what do you feel like at the minute is your non-negotiables? And if you can pop them in the chat, that would be great, because I do find that the more that we share like this, the more that each other can kind of get a little bit of an understanding and like learn from each other as well, and just be like, oh Jesus, actually, what Sinead said there is actually something that I think I could do as well, and that really helps. So for your non-negotiables for Christmas, in terms of maybe nutrition, movement, or even mindset, what do you feel like for you is easy managed non-negotiable for yourselves? I don't even know if I can click into the chat. Oh, I can. Okay, perfect. Good stuff. So moving, so getting a walk in, staying hydrated. Yeah, definitely. And those two alone will make such a big difference as well. Steps and sleep. Yes, definitely. I do find sleep is such a funny one, because it can come up to just after Christmas and you're watching movies till 12 o'clock, and then it's 1 o'clock, and all of a sudden your sleep routine is completely gone. So definitely focusing on, yes, your bedtime might be a little bit later, but trying to keep some with it, what of a routine with it. Even like your normal wake time is going to make a big difference there as well. Sleep, step, water. Nice. Yeah. Definitely, I think that the steps is definitely one, and the overall movement is definitely one. Daily walks, planned hikes. Yes. Yes, 100%. It is such a nice time as well, where like, between the Christmas and New Year's, where majority of people are off to get out and actually get fresh air in, and it's just the air is just great at that time. Okay, perfect. If anyone has any others there, keep popping them in, because you can definitely just like find little tips off other people as well. Um, okay. So just a little reminder then as well, with obviously the December schedule. So I know Tuesday's check-ins have been completed today. Wednesday check-ins are being completed tomorrow. For check-ins next week, because obviously next week is Christmas week, all check-ins are to be uploaded for everyone on Sunday, and I'll have feedback over Monday, Tuesday. So we have everything organized there. In terms of me with taking some days annual leave, I will be off from Christmas Eve until the 29th. If there is anything in terms of like, I know majority of us probably aren't doing much anyways during that time, we're with family, but if you have questions, if you have training footage, just send everything over. It doesn't matter if I'm working or not, my phone will be turned off. So it's not going to disrupt me at any point anyway. So I will be off from 24th to 29th. There will be no check-ins the week of the 29th. I know all of you know this anyways. Now I'll still be online and active. So if you do need anything, training footage, etc., pop it all over. And then we'll have normal check-ins on the week of the 5th of January. And that's when we're going to be doing the one-to-one calls for the goal setting for 2026. And we'll run through things from there. So with the run through of Christmas, managing Christmas events, the run through of the next couple of weeks, has anyone any questions or anything that they wanted to add on that? Speak now or forever hold it in. And if you want to ask something or anything and you don't want to talk, you can type into the chat. There's no problem there either. So just fire them in.
Sorry, Sinead. Do you know when you say checking this Sunday, 21st, does that mean we have to upload it Saturday night before 12 or Sunday
No.
before?
Yeah, great question. So upload it on Sunday. So by midnight Sunday night. So I'll have feedback then over Monday and Tuesday. So just upload by Sunday.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
No worries. That's a great question though, because I actually didn't clarify that at all. Perfect. Okay. So girls, we get on to the groovy stuff now. In my opinion, the groovy stuff now. So this is the goal setting for 2026, right? I want us all going into 2026 with like a clear plan of exactly what we want, exactly what we're going to achieve, so that we know that our goals versus our habits are in alignment, like they are literally connected. We know exactly what we're at and we have actionable goals and steps for 2026, okay? So main thing I say with this whole thing is that nothing is out of reach, right? Aim for what's the saying? Aim for the moon, and if you miss, you'll be amongst the stars. That sounds so cheesy, but like, I don't want you thinking, oh gosh, that's not achievable. Pop it in, right? We will do everything we can to make it work. And even if we don't get exactly to that point, even if we're halfway there, we're better than what we were if we only set our goal down here, okay? So in the chat, I know I'm like this like little teacher here now. 3 words, right, on 2026 for you right now that you want to feel in 2026. Let's go. I don't think I'd ever make it as a teacher. All right, let's go. Fit, strong, healthy. Love it. Fit, energetic, confident. Nice. Confident, strong, happy, proud, fit, strong. Okay, nice. Strong, confident. Yeah, confident coming up a lot, strong coming up a lot, which is good. Strong, confident, happy. Okay, nice. Okay, so that's the vibe, that's the vision of 2026, which is perfect, which we love, right? So what we are going to do now, and hopefully this works, famous last words, is this is a form. I'm going to run through this form as we go through. So if you can, I know there's 1 or 2 girls that are currently not able to type at the minute, which is completely fine. You can, I'll send that over to you later. So this is the form. This is the type form. We're going to run through it together. And I want to just run through it. So this is going to, can I share my screen? Oh, let's just make sure now you can see this. Can you see this type form? You can just nod.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Perfect. Okay. So type form says this takes 6 minutes, right? So we'll run through it together. I do want you to give as much detail in this as possible as well, because this form is what I'm going to use for when we're jumping on that one-to-one call in January. So we're going to run through it together. So you can click the link in the chat. It should pop up and we're going to run through it kind of at the same time here, okay? If anyone has any issues, just let me know. Okay. I will assume we're all good. Okay, so first question, you need to give me your name if you know it. If you do, great. Pop your name in, press OK. Let's go to question 2. So far, girls, really, really easy. Next one then is your email. So pop in your email there just so I have it. This is just a test one, test dummy now, so don't mind this. And we'll go on to question 3. So before we dive into 2026, we want to have a quick little reflection on how 2025 has gone so far. Some of you have been with me since the start of 2025. Some people have been through the middle of 2025. Some people have started only last week, which is absolutely fine. We want to just run through how did that go. So if you go on to the next question here, it says, what has been your biggest achievement towards your goals in 2025? So what milestones have you hit this year? What has been your biggest achievements, your personal bests? Maybe it's you've done something that you were outside your comfort zone that you were terrified of doing. Maybe you finally took the leap and you did the thing that you were afraid to do. Maybe it was a fat loss goal that you reached. Maybe it was a physical goal that you've reached, a fitness goal that you reached, whatever you feel like has been your biggest achievement 2025, pop it down. And it's just a little moment to reflect on yourself, because I do find sometimes it's so easy to just forget all the little wins that we've had this year. We always like, oh, should we move on to the next thing, do you know? So it's important that we do note that of what has been. And it can be more than one, by the way. So if you have more than one, pop them in. I'll give you a few seconds. Okie dokie. Going on to number 4 then. What were the biggest challenges for you that held you back in 2025? So this could be in terms of work. This could be in terms of just like things that have popped up for you that weren't expected. Maybe it was mindset things. Maybe there was challenges. So personally for me, my challenges this year was majority based around my knee and the injuries, which had stopped me from reaching a lot of my goals in terms of fitness. And I think the biggest thing here is the reason why we want to identify this is so that we can help to overcome it in 2026 if it is still an issue, right? So oftentimes when we are trying to reach goals, there's always going to be challenges, there's always going to be barriers. The most important part here is identifying what is our challenges. So we make sure that we do obviously overcome them, which we will. Okay, number 5, right? So this is for 2026, your number 1 health goal. So your biggest top priority for 2020, did I say 2025? For 2026. So we're looking here at maybe it is reaching a certain point in your fat loss journey. Maybe it is building up the confidence to go into the gym. Maybe it is the goal of like reducing your cholesterol. Everyone is so different on this. So when it comes to the questions, what's the first thing that pops into your head that is your biggest priority for next year? This could also be relationship with food. It could be fitness levels. It could be Trika, half marathons, etc. Yeah, so pop that in there. Going on to number 6 then. So if you could achieve one physical result by the end of 2026, what would it be? Okay, so this could be weight loss, this could be strength, endurance, flexibility, this could be a physical result of like half marathon, etc. 10K, could be Trika, Hyrox. So you can pop that in there. There is, just for Rebecca there that joined, there is a link in the chat. I don't know if the chat will pop up for you now that I can send it directly anyways. Which should work. We're just going through basically a goal setting sheet for 2026. Okay. Is everybody okay with where we're at? Okay. Okay. So number 7 then. How do you want to feel in 2026? So what do you want to have improved within your body? So whether it is your energy, your confidence, your strength, your mobility, maybe it's less pain around joints, maybe it is the confidence in clothes, in holiday outfits, etc. Okay. Going on to number 8 then. So what 2 to 3 habits do you feel like you need to commit to in 2026 to support these goals that we have just run through? Okay, so the more clarity we have here, the better. So if it is a case where obviously just a brief run through of like you're looking to drop body fat to feel more confident in your clothes, what is a habit you need to do to reach that goal? So nutrition is going to be the most important part here. It will be tracking calories, being conscious of the calorie intake that we're having, etc. So it is running through what habits you need to reach that goal, basically. So I'll just give you a few moments for that. If I'm going too fast also for anyone, you can just let me know. Okay. Oh, I'm super behind. Oh, sorry. Okay. I'll give you a moment. Rushing through this, I am. No worries. Take your time with it anyways. I want us to have as much detail as we can in these as well. So with the next one, with just what do we feel like would be the biggest roadblock for us in reaching these goals for us in 2026? Is it maybe other commitments? Is it work? Is it time frames? What do we just feel like could hold us back? Is it mindset? Is it the self-sabotage that comes in sometimes when we know that we're reaching a new point that we've never reached before, that our mind tends to go, oh, this is new and scary, and oh, we've never done this before, so it doesn't mean we can do it. And the main thing with roadblocks as well is that like the more awareness we have of our roadblocks, the better we are at overcoming them. Because if we don't know what's stopping us, sure, we're just going to spin in circles and be like, yeah, I don't know why I can't do that, but I'm still spinning here and I can't get anywhere. So the roadblocks can sometimes feel like a negative or a bit heavy, but if we didn't know what they were, if we didn't have them, we wouldn't be able to get past them. Okay. One second. And then number 10. Now, I know for a lot of us, we may not know everything yet, but for like the bigger events, maybe it's holidays, maybe it's there's a few brides to be next year. If anything that's happening next year that you know of in terms of plans, and obviously I know in check-ins and stuff as well, when we do have events coming up, we always run through them anyways. And if we know big things in advance, we do. But if there's anything that you can think of at the minute for 2026 that is coming up, let me know. So obviously that is going to dictate sometimes in big ways, sometimes in small ways, how we plan our plan of action basically and timeline of our work next year. So you can pop in any dates there and the events of them as well. So if it is holidays, just the rough dates. If you don't know the rough dates of things as well, don't panic. We can always add them in later. I should have got, you know, that what is it, 9 out of 10 cats does countdown or something, and it goes diddle 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 doo, and it's like a timer clock. I should have done that for every question. It'd feel like it's a little like quiz show or something, just to add more like dramatics. Although I wouldn't work well under pressure, so I wouldn't do it to you. Okay. So, number 11, then we're going to break them into time frames because obviously we can have such big plans for 2026. And a lot of times when we have all these plans and goals, we're like, okay, how are we actually going to manage these? How are we going to break them down? So, what we are going to do is break them down into smaller spaces in terms of 3 months at a time. So, you don't need to put Anthony in number 11 here. It will go into the next one. I just needed to put this as a heading and I didn't know how to do it. So I had to put it in as if it looked like a question. So please ignore that. You can ignore it. So we're going to break them down, right? So if we were to look at January to March is 3 months. So what do we want to have achieved by March 2026? So this could be, you know, starting to build out your running and maybe hit 5K. Maybe this is hitting a certain strength in your training. Maybe this is going from home sessions and by March we want to be in the gym. Maybe this is, you know, getting organized and booking a performance-based event like maybe a Hyrox, maybe a Trika, maybe it's the women's mini marathon, maybe it is a fat loss based goal, maybe you want to be reaching a certain weight by that time, maybe you want to be reaching a certain dress size by that time. So this is going to be the first 3 months of 2026 is what we're going to be primarily focusing on. 11 was just you didn't need to fill it in. I needed to put a heading into the slides and I didn't know how to, so I had to put in, they had to put in an answer. So you could just ignore number 11. You can put a little smiley face or a dot or anything, it doesn't matter. Yeah, sorry about that. Tried my best with the slides, guys, tried my best. So going on from that then, we're going to be 6 months into 2026, which will bring us to June. So this is the halfway mark. So what do we want to have achieved by June? So this is looking at even from January to June, but also from March to June. So we're breaking it up into 3-month slots, but it is a nice little midway point. And the big thing with this as well, girls, is that if we don't hit that goal by March 2026, it's not to panic about it. We know that's the time frame you put in originally. We know ourselves things happen in life as well. So we can always move the goalpost slightly, but once we know what ball we are aiming to go in which goals, that's the most important part. Very weird analogy, but it works. So you can pop them in there. And then the next one by September 2026. Yeah, that's no worries, Fran. I know that you didn't have the access to typing, so there's no worries with that. So this is going to be 9 months into 2026, which is absolutely wild. So September 2026, where are we going to be at? We'll be thriving. Not surviving, but thriving. Okay. And then the last one, very obvious. By this time next year, 12 months into 2026, where do we want to be? And it's okay if you're looking at this being like, I actually don't really know. Like once you have a rough idea of how you would like to feel during that time, what things would you like to still be doing, or maybe what things would you like to be not doing at all? We don't need to have like something every single time, or you don't need to be so crystal clear on things, because not everyone's crystal clear on things. Like if I look at December next year, like what do I want to achieve by that? It's a great question. I think main thing would be like, I would hope by that stage my knee that I could actually run again. Jesus, if I can't run in 12 months time, I don't know. I'd say I'll do a Britney on it and I'll have no hair left. But the main thing here is that like it's just a rough idea of where we want to be, and we will tweak and change this as we go with our one-to-one calls, that we can review things as we go in our review and alignment calls anyways. So if we don't know full exact where we want to be, that's okay. Don't be stressing about it. It's just always a rough idea. Okay, so the most important question here: what support or accountability do you need from me in 2026? So obviously we always have like our WhatsApp support throughout the week. We always have our weekly check-ins and we have our calls as well. But like for me to help you, what do you need from me? And obviously this can change as time goes on. If we are going through more stressful periods, maybe we need more touch points, maybe we need more support, maybe we need more calls, etc. But what do you feel like you need from me in 2026? Oakley dokley. This is the most important question, number 17. Are you ready? Are you ready to rumble? Are you ready to level up in 2026? No, I'm not. Run away. And then once you're done, make sure to press OK, because if you don't press OK, it won't complete. It will go into then booking a call. This calendar is not set up for January yet, so please don't book a call. There's only the next Thursday and Monday available, and that's not when we're doing them. So the calls will start from, it's not going to click for me, of course. They are going to start from the week of the 5th of January. So what I will do is the week of the 29th, I will send out the link to book in a call for the following week. So we'll run through a full plan of action the week of the 5th of January. And we'll go through things from there. I know some of you might still be on the filling that up, so that's no worries at all. So take your time to run through it. And has anyone any questions on anything? For anyone who's done the form, yeah, I'll be in Ireland. It'll be Irish times for the calls. It'll be on my calendar anyway, so there'll be loads of availability for different days. On that week, I'll open my calendar for a lot more flexibility for those working maybe shift work, and that as well. So they will be Irish based times. I'll be in the country. There's no problem there. Is for anyone who's finished the form, you might just pop into the chat, just even an emoji or a yes or anything, just so I know where people roughly are. And if you are still typing, keep typing. I don't want you to stop. Okay. Just so I know, because I know I'm just yapping here and I'm like, I have no idea. I've actually just been looking at Michaela and Brenda just to see if they've still been like moving and typing to see whereabouts they are. I'm using you as the overall average. Okay. Perfect. Okay, I'll give it a few more minutes. So the basic run through then, obviously with Christmas is, girls, we just want to enjoy it. Like, we're going to look after ourselves. We're going to do what we can, but we're also going to enjoy it. We're going to have the laughs. And look, is there going to be some later nights? Yeah, so Ellen, the calendar won't work. I put it in and then I realized I don't give the calendar weeks in advance. So the week of the 29th, I will send out the link to everyone directly. And you can book in a call then for the week of January 5th. So you can ignore that slide. I should have probably taken that slide out, but I thought when I had it organized, I could set it, but technology, girls, right, just didn't fully work on my side. But we didn't do too bad. But yeah, main thing is obviously over Christmas, we're going to enjoy ourselves. We're going to have a nice time. We're going to look after ourselves. And if anyone is struggling with that, and let me know. The main thing I will say, obviously, with me being off from the 24th to the 29th is if Anthem pops up during that time where you have a question on something, just send the message. Like, my phone will be turned off, but I will come back to you when I am back working and online as well. The main thing is we've worked hard this year. We want to be able to loosen the reins. We want to be able to enjoy the ending of the year and know that we're feeling refreshed and ready come January to pick back up the pace, put the foot back up on the gas and keep smashing it and continue to push and thrive. Perfect. Anybody, any questions or anyone add anything or anything at all?
No, thanks a million.
I'll leave it a few seconds in case anyone wants to put that in the chat. Okay. Perfect. Well, girls, that is it. 45 minutes effective. But I hope you did find it helpful as well. Obviously, the goal setting will help me a lot with running through your plans for next year. But I want to make sure that on the run up to Christmas, you're feeling good. If anyone has any questions that wants to message me directly after, just do, of course. And just make sure, check in, upload by midnight Sunday. Feedback will be between Monday, Tuesday. Okay. So that's how we'll run through things. Typically, the girls that do check-ins on Tuesdays get feedback on Tuesdays will get their feedback on Monday. The girls who get their check-ins on Wednesday feedback will get their check-in feedback Tuesday, give or take. So just allow for that, because obviously it is 2 days before Christmas. So I will have everyone's check-ins done, obviously, before Christmas. Perfect. Okay, great. Thanks so much, girls, for jumping on the call. And yeah, it's been great. I've loved this. So yeah, anyone need anything, let me know. Enjoy the next couple of days. I know it's going to get busy for a lot of houses as well. So just little non-negotiables for yourself. Fill up your own cup and drink your water. And enjoy.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Sinead.
Sinead.
No worries.
Bye-bye.
Chat to you soon. Bye bye.